Oh, hi guys, welcome back. This is LA Laura. Bentornati, come va? So today I would like to talk about a verb that is quite used, especially in this period of time, unfortunately, because this is the verb preoccuparsi. Preoccuparsi means to worry. Okay, so nowadays we worry a lot because of what's happening in the world, the news, every day is a constant pressure on us, on our nerves, right? So we tend to worry. Ci preoccupiamo, tendiamo a preoccuparci. So this verb, preoccuparsi, is a reflexive verb. So as you probably may know, the reflexive verbs are verbs whose action is reflected on the subject. So these verbs are mostly used to describe personal hygiene or personal care. So for instance, if I want to say, I comb my hair, I will use a reflexive verb because the action of combing my hair, I do it on myself. So, mi pettino, for instance, pettinarsi. Let's quickly see the reflexive pronouns because thanks to the pronouns, then you can form and conjugate the verb. So, the reflexive pronouns are mi, ti, si, ci, vi, si. Si is both singular and plural, masculine and feminine. So if I want to say she combs her hair, or simply she combs, intending her hair, I will say si pettina, si pettina. And so for he combs his hair, si pettina, while plural, si pettinano. Okay, so again, reflexive verbs, as the word suggests, are verbs whose action is reflected on the subject. This verb preoccuparsi is another reflexive verb because I do the action of worrying on myself, right? So, mi preoccupo. But if we break down the word preoccuparsi, we have the part which is pre and the part which is occuparsi. Occuparsi literally means to occupy but also to take care of something. And so preoccuparsi means to take care of something ahead of time. This is why I personally think that worrying is wrong. You know why? Because you haven't dealt with the situation yet. It's something that you think of that makes you worry. But the thing, the problem, hasn't happened yet and probably will not even happen. So this is why preoccuparsi is a very tricky verb, not only grammarly speaking, but also in real life. So what I tend to do in my life, I live by these two principles. One is never to worry. I know it's easier said than done, but if you think about it, most of the times, the things that you worry about aren't even gonna happen. So if you look at your past, maybe you will see that there were some things that you were stressing about, worrying about, and then in the end, they basically almost solved themselves, right? So what I do, I try to always break down this word. Non ti preoccupare. Do not take care of it ahead of time. Do not worry about it before it's time. Un bel consiglio. This is a nice advice, right? I know. Also, there's an Italian proverb that goes, il diavolo non è mai così brutto come lo si dipinge, which means the devil is never as ugly as you paint him, right? Because you imagine things and you stress about them and you create this monster in your head, while in reality things aren't as bad as you imagine. Most of the times. There are times when things are really bad, of course, unfortunately, but it's just like a small percentage, right, of all the things that we can worry about. So, okay, again, non preoccuparti, and this is the conjugation of the verb. Io mi preoccupo, you know. Ti preoccupi. Si preoccupa, ci preoccupiamo, vi preoccupate, si preoccupano. Okay? Another thing to consider is these are all things in your mind. Your mind sometimes is deceitful. Also, did you know that the word mind in Italian is translated with mente, which not only means mind, but also it means it lies. So it's like a lie. So the mind may trick you into thinking something that is not real. So instead of following your mind, sometimes would be definitely better to follow your instincts or that feeling that you get from thinking about something, and not follow what your mind tells you, because it may lie to you. Okay, so this is not an Italian class, not a simple Italian class, but it's also a philosophical class. Okay. Good. And one more thing I'd like to say. Let me check, because I wrote something down. Okay, yeah. There's also another proverb that I'd like to teach you in Italian that is integrated in this kind of discussion, which is male non fare, paura non avere. Male non fare, do not harm, fear not. Paura non avere. So as long as you behave in a good way, you're a loving person, you're kind, do not worry about anything else. Again, do not worry. Non ti preoccupare. Okay? If you have any comments or questions about the verb preoccuparsi, or if you want to discuss it further, just leave a comment and I will answer to it. Ok? Vi risponderò. Va bene ragazzi, vi auguro una bella giornata, non preoccupatevi e ci vediamo presto. Un bacio, ciao da Laura.